two one-loss teams in the Southeast Conference battling it out here tonight. It's Oak Creek playing host to Racine Case. Good evening, everyone, and welcome into Oak Creek High School. Along with Terry Kelly, John Weiser with you as we get set for our first visit into the Southeast Conference tonight against two teams, their only losses coming to Franklin.
Franklin's ruled this conference, but here are two teams that want to contest that with them. They're fighting to get second place and get some positioning for the playoffs.
Racine Case opened up its year winning their first two non-conference games, knocking off Westosha Central and Brookfield East, I might add, for the third straight year knocking off Brookfield East. Meanwhile, for this Oak Creek team, they opened up non-conference play splitting. They opened up with a shutout win over Waterford and then dropped the decision to Muskego. Both teams, as I said, fell to Franklin. Both teams coming off wins last week.
Well, Coach Parr thinks Racine Case is a very underrated team. He thinks they've flown beneath the radar, and so he's expecting this is really going to be a tight, close battle.
I'm excited because Racine Case, as you said, has kind of floated under the radar just a little bit, but this is an opportunity for them tonight with a win to become playoff eligible for the second straight year.
Yeah, both teams are going to make the playoffs, but now where do you slide into the bracket?
It'll be a great matchup tonight. Let's talk about some of the players we're going to keep an eye on for you here tonight. We'll start first for the Case Eagles.
Well, Michael Farr is a wide receiver, two-way player, excellent athlete, and quarterback Leo Giappetta has had a very, very good year.
I say Myshea Grayson, the linebacker.
Myshea Grayson, the linebacker, who's all over the field making tackles, and defensive end Thomas Lackey really anchors that defensive front.
Intriguing story for Oak Creek on offense with Nate Schaff.
Nate Schaff, running back, recovered from a rather horrific traffic accident. And the other athlete that we're showing tonight isn't going to play, Kevin Wojciechowski, all-conference, all-state player, tore his ACL, but Coach wanted him to get recognition.
On defense for the Knights,
Isaiah Angelis, they talk about him as being a shutdown corner, and Brady Julie, who's amasses an unbelievable total of tackles.
Will it be the Racine Case speed or the physical presence of Oak Creek tonight? We're going to find out. Kickoff is just around the corner. This is the Gruber Law Office's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Milwaukee Window Guys. Ready to go here at Oak Creek High School with Terry Kelly, John Weiser. Mike McGivern will be along in just a little bit. It's time now for our Leona Local 113 kickoff. Case winning the toss, deferring to the second half. And the sophomore Colin Gardner boots this one to Dennis Morris, a sophomore. Takes it across the 25-yard line, brought down by Adam Contreras. We'll get a first look at the coin toss.
You're going to call it in the air.
Tails.
Call.
Give me money.
It is the tailbone. That means you want the money. Which way would you like the guys to defend? Nola. Put your backs to the scoreboard. Drum in here. Give it up for our 2024. Let's go. I'm gonna tap your shoulder, okay, for the scoreboard.
Our coin toss ceremony brought to you by the United States Army.
Have a good game.
Be all you can be. There was holding on the kickoff return, so Oak Creek penalized, and this will bring the football back inside the 25-yard line. They'll spot it at the 22 for the Knights, their first possession. Look at our starting lineups tonight, brought to you by Milwaukee Building and Construction Trades Council. Blake Furcus at quarterback. Really good receiving core in Hoagland and Hamilton. And then we mentioned Nate Schaff, the running back, and he'll get the call here. He'll fight his way forward for a couple out to about the 25-yard line. Brought down by Terrell McRae. That great defensive line by Racine Case as we take a look at it, anchored by Thomas Lackey. But then you got that linebacking core, Maisha Grayson, and then that secondary. Ball Hawks out there as well. Jalen Garrett with an interception return for a touchdown against ITA. Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Again, Schaff coming around the right side. Gets it up to about the 30-yard line, short of the first down. Maisha Grayson with the stop.
Well, defensive coordinator Dennis Gallagher said the goal for the team this year on defensive side of the ball, they don't want to just be the best defense in the Southeast Conference. They're aiming to be the best defense in the state, and they really work at it hard during practice.
3rd and 2 for Oak Creek. Ball at their own 30-yard line. They'll spread 2 receivers here to the near side. A wing to the left. And it'll be the quarterback running power, and not much there. Second effort may have gotten the first down. Looked like that first wave had him bottled up. Getting off from the bottom of that pile was Eric Iosencio, the sophomore inside linebacker. And it'll be good enough for a Best Electric Service first down. Our first down is brought to you by Best Electric Service. Best Electric Service, connect with the best. 1st and 10 from the 34. Put it up for the first time tonight. Comes back near side. Michael Busateri with the catch out across the 40-yard line. Jalen Garrett out there on the stop. As I mentioned, Garrett with that interception return last week against Indian Trail.
Well, Blake Furcus is only a junior, but the coaches have been pleased with how he's been developing the offensive coordinator, Robert Hellendrun. Nobody knows him as Robert Hellendrun. Everyone knows him as Coach Hubba. Said, Blake is really starting to emerge.
Schaff on the carry, left side, line of scrimmage, and that's it. Met by a host of Eagles, led by Adam Contreras, the strong safety. That's going to be a key tonight, the defensive speed of the Eagles. I know Coach Parr talked about that in practice this week, trying to match that speed because he kept saying, boys, these guys come at you.
Yeah, excellent team speed. We'll talk about that a little later in terms of the game. Both teams, heavy track influence for both teams.
3rd-year coach Anton Graham.
Busy week for Coach Graham. Just had his son born about 3 days ago, doing well, but he's not getting much sleep.
On the blitz, they pick it up, and Schaff battles his way forward close to the first down marker. Once again, Contreras there on the stop. And it will be enough for a first down.
Well, we mentioned at the outset of today's show that Oak Creek's offense took a blow when they lost Kevin Wojciechowski, captain, all-conference player, all-state player, tore his ACL. He was one of the few two-way players they have, but they really depended upon him, so that offensive line has had to make some adjustments. We'll see how it holds up during the course of the game.
2 receivers to the right on first down from their own 44. Schaff gets the call again, picks his way right side, bangs his way forward across the 45 out to the 47-yard line. Iosencio and Contreras making the stop. We're going to have trouble with that name. There is a Kevin Wojciechowski, offensive lineman.
Right.
And they found out about it right before practice on Monday.
Yeah, we came here. They wound up having 2 of their starters go down for the year with injuries. And needless to say, Coach Parr was not a pleasant afternoon for him.
Gain of 3, 2nd down and 7. Ball at the 47-yard line. Firkus with plenty of time. Comes back near side. Double coverage, incomplete, looking for Busateri. He was bookended there by Contreras and Garrett.
Yeah, the 2 DBs really had him bracketed. Excellent coverage.
Throws a nice ball. We watched Firkus in practice, and tell you what, it's a tight ball for a high school player. Sets up 3rd and long now from the 47-yard line. Single back is Schaff. Read option here. In trouble is Firkus, and he'll go down. Maishe Grayson was there cleaning up, but it was Cameron Williams, the defensive end, who came in off his block, blew that play up.
Coach Gallagher mentioned they look for the right spots to blitz, create a little havoc in the backfield. Maishe was an honorable mention all-conference player a year ago.
Benny Heiselu, this kid can kick. We watched him in practice. He gets them off. Got that one to turn over. I'll let it hit the turf. It'll bounce inside the 20 and down at the 20-yard line. 43-yard punt, no return. Case their first possession tonight. Yard line. Brought down by Madden Tate, the nose guard.
Offensive coordinator Mitchell Farr, who happens to be the uncle of Michael Farr, said one of the things they're looking to do, they like to get their really speedy athletes isolated one-on-one on the defensive backs of Oak Creek.
Landon DeVillio in at linebacker, replacing Andy Trzynski, who was out with that broken hand. 2nd down, 6. Eccles lowers the head across the 27 out to about the 28-yard line. Jackson Valario able to make the stop.
Taken down by Villarreal. 3rd and 2.
So it'll bring up 3rd and short for the Eagles.
Case has some good size along that offensive front for them. Trent Harris is at 275. Evan Summer is 290. Declan Nason is at 275. Right guard Alante Morris is 270, and Kevin Buchaklian is 223 pounds. So they little size advantage over Oak Creek's front.
A lot of time trying to get this play organized here on 3rd and short. And they just beat the play clock. It's Eccles up the middle for the first down out to the 35-yard line. 6-yard pickup. Brady Julie there on the stop, the inside linebacker. As we head downstairs, our first report from the birthday boy, Mike McGivern.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for reminding me. Guys, you know how I tell you on the sidelines, I love watching coaches that are getting after it. Coach Hubba here at Oak Creek has seen it all. Very calm, cool, collected, talking to this defense about what they need to do to continue to play the way they played that first drive. For their second drive. He said, look, we got to get after it a little bit harder. But he's very calm, cool, and collected. Coach, it's awesome to see Coach Hub. I've known him a long time.
That is the same coach we saw on Monday, right. Terry?
Calm and collected. I thought he lost his mind at one point during the practice. They were making a lot of adjustments, having lost Wojo.
2nd and 6. Nice catch, grab here on the near side by Michael Farr, his first reception tonight. Isaiah Angelis, cornerback. He was the quarterback, I think, a season ago for this Oak Creek team, now at corner.
Right.
Farr, 6 foot 180, a junior. Leads the team in receptions. Picks up the best electric service first down, just shy of midfield. spotted at the Eagle 48-yard line. A brisk first quarter tonight. Eccles the single back. He'll get the call. He is met and driven down. I mean, he was pile driven to the turf. Adam Wendorski, the senior, the other inside linebacker for Oak Creek.
Adam, an excellent student, a 3.5 GPA, reads very well and understands what the offense is trying to do. He's already been in on 59 tackles this season.
So goes a tackle for loss, a loss of 1, 2nd and 11. Just going to look at Leo Chiappetta, the senior quarterback for the Eagles. 3 receivers left. Looks them off, comes back over the middle for Farr, makes the grab. Farr into the end zone. Touchdown, Racine Case.
We talked about how they wanted to get their speedy receivers isolated on DBs. Michael Farr, excellent speed.
53-yard touchdown reception as we get another look.
Chiappetti put that right on the mark. Coaches were very, very laudatory of Chiappetta in terms of how he's become a vocal leader for the team and, you know, really has assumed that role of being the team, you know, spokesperson.
The extra point is up and through, and the Case Eagles take a 7-0 lead here with 3:22 to go in our first quarter. We will step out. You're watching the Gruber Law Office's Friday Night Rivals presented by Milwaukee Window Guys. Two heartfelt comedies are bringing family-fueled laughs and love to My24 this fall. Navigate life in Lanford with the Connors at 6 and fall head over heels for Bob Hart's Abishola at 9. That's weeknights right here on My24. 80-yard drive here by the Case Eagles, capped off by the 53-yard pass from Chiappetta to Michael Farr. 7 plays. Our scoring summaries brought to you by Carthage College. Your turn to make waves. Our Leona local 113 kickoff. This will sail to the 4-yard line. Dennis Morse picking his way across the 20. Gets out to the 26-yard line. Looked like it was Contreras and Fenderson there on the stop as we head back down to Mike.
So, guys, Bruce Janicek, he left me a message today, singing today. Not sure he should ever sing. Thank you for the message. You're good. Hey, can we talk Best Electric? Talk a little bit about holiday season coming up, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving. A lot of lights going up on the house.
A lot of lights going up, a lot of illumination on the house, a lot of parties. You need extra circuits and things. We're always happy to help. Residential is a big part of our business. Please contact us. We'd be happy to help you.
Bruce, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Hey, I got one more thing for everybody here. It's a surprise for my buddy Mike. Today is a very important day. It's happy birthday, Mike McGivern. What a great guy. He's turning, I don't want to say what he's turning, but he's good. And here's what we have for him today. Special birthday cake for my buddy Mike. Happy birthday, young man.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, 35 all over again. I really appreciate it. Boys, back to you.
Save us a piece or two, please.
I believe his birthday is a national holiday in a number of countries.
We have an injured Case player down. So time has been called here. Again, this week we'll highlight a hit of the game, and that's brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. The season begins next week. Exhibition season on the NHL level wraps up this weekend, and then it's for real beginning Tuesday night.
Well, I'm sure defensive coordinator Dennis Gallagher is, this time of the season you don't want to lose any of your key players.
You get into week 6, 7, 8, everybody's banged up, everybody's nicked up. Yeah, you don't want any serious injuries. Certainly not like how it's affected Oak Creek. And that is
Marcus Morose.
Morose, who's a backup defensive lineman, also plays special teams. Getting a helmet tap from Anton Graham.
Yeah, Coach Graham has done an outstanding job with Racine Case. He's being honored this spring by the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association with the Marge and Dick Rundle Positive Influence of Coaching Award for all the work he's done to get that Racine Case program on the rise.
Movement up front. Case jumping the gun just a little bit. Iosencio jumped.
Yeah, suddenly he's in the backfield and looking around. Wait a minute, nobody else here is with me.
Chris Borman, a ref.
Yeah, Eric is, identified by Coach Gallagher as their key blitzer, and so far this season he's been in on 54 tackles and 10 tackles for loss.
Makes it a 2nd and 3 now for Oak Creek. Schaff picking his way through the middle will get the first down out near the 38-yard line. Good run by Schaff. Maisha Grayson in on the stop, another look.
You can see Blake Furcus kind of reading that play, although running has not been part of his offense this year. He's been much more of a passer. But as you get later in the season, you try to put in a couple wrinkles that are going to goof up the defensive team's strategy.
Busateri lined up wide here with Hamilton in the slot. Furcus with time over the middle. Completes the pass, a tight window and a reception out across the 50-yard line, 13-yard pickup right in front of Jalen Garrett, their all-world corner.
Yeah, Jalen couldn't believe that pass was completed. Coverage right there, but excellent concentration showing that time by Michael Busateri.
6'2", 175, and a senior. 12 catches now on the season for Busateri. From midfield, 1st and 10. Minute 40 to go here in the first. Schwaff for a couple, and then he is stacked up. Whole host of Eagles in on that stop, led by Cameron Williams and Thomas Lackey, pair of defensive linemen for Case. So gain of 2, 2nd down and 8. Creek coming off a 35-0 win last week over Racine Park. As Furcus will swing it out of the backfield, too strong, trying to lead Schaff. A little bit of a wheel route that time from out of that running back position.
Yeah, the linebacker was going to have to be matched up on that back coming out of the backfield. I'm sure as they look back, Furcus wishes he could have put.
3rd and 8 now for Oak Creek. Play action. They'll come back near side, trying to loft it into Schaff on a wheel route. Penalty flag down. 2 of them, as a matter of fact. We're going to get a holding call here against Oak Creek. We'll see if that gets declined.
Holding offense. The penalties decline. 4th down.
Well, this is a part of the game that Oak Creek has to make work for them. They've got an excellent kicking game. They got a, first team all-conference performer, Mr. Heiselou as their punter, and they've got Heiselou.
And this goes over his head. It will bounce inside the 15. Heiselou will have to fall on it at the 14-yard line. A bad snap. And that flips the field back to Case here late in this first quarter. They will take over in the red zone as we get another look.
Yeah, Benny Heiselou is 6'3", but there was no way he was going to be able to get to that ball. Here's something that you want to be your strength, your kicking game, that you hope can flip the field and everything. Now works out as a liability.
Inside the Bryant and Stratton College red zone. They will set up at the 14-yard line. They'll send 3 receivers to the left. Including the tight end. A tight bunch formation there on the left side. They'll run it to Eccles. Malachi Eccles takes it inside the 10-yard line. DeVillio brought him down. DeVillio getting the start tonight at linebacker ahead of Andy Trzynski, who is out with a broken hand.
Yeah, Mr. Eccles has been their leading ground gainer this year in that halfback position.
Had quite the game against Indian Trail last week, 156 yards and 3 touchdowns. From the 10, Eccles, down he goes. Excellent read that time by Gavin Grawl. There is a flag after the play. And if this is an unsportsmanlike conduct, that is, oh my.
I think that's going to be a dead ball foul as well.
Oh, it's going to go against Case.
Two guys were tangled up, and I think the Case athlete wound up throwing the Oak Creek player.
Personal foul. Offense. 15-yard penalty.
This all occurred after the play. At first, I thought they were going to get Grawl for a taunt, but he's just an emotional kid. He just celebrating the fact that he got in that backfield for a tackle for loss.
Yeah, a week ago when they didn't have either Grawl or Wojcik.
And this will take us to the end of our first quarter. Case up 7-0, a 53-yard pass from Chiappetta to Michael Farr. The only score so far, 7-0 Eagles. The Gruber Law Office's Friday Night Rivals presented by Milwaukee Window Guys. Second quarter set to begin. Chiappetta over the middle, almost a one-handed grab by Zach DeBaker. He was there, passed just a little in front of DeBaker, where he could not haul it in. Make it a 4th and 27 now for the Eagles. That personal foul penalty really hurt them.
Well, Coach Mitchell Farr has got some real speed out there. Eccles, DeBaker, and Meyer were all part of an outstanding 4x200 relay. And number 11, Meyer, was the conference champion in both the 100 and the 200 last spring. So you talk about speed to burn, that's what they have.
They need to get to the 4-yard line for the first down. They will go for it here. Chiappetta on a scramble, penalty marker down. Delivers a ball, short hop the receiver, incomplete. Looking for Lincoln Meyer. I'm sure if this is against Case, they'll decline it. Looks like a face mask call here against the Eagles.
Face mask, offense. Penalties decline, first down.
So Oak Creek will take over on downs at the 31-yard line, so that dead ball personal foul penalty really hurt the Eagles. They were set up inside the 15-yard line and did not capitalize as we head down to Mike.
So, guys, I'm here with Rosie Heidemann. She is in charge of the student section. It was her birthday yesterday. I know who I'm sharing my cake with. Hey, tell me about getting in front of the student section, getting them going a little bit.
It's great to just get everyone feel that energy and make sure we're getting nice and loud for the game, cheering our friends out on the field.
Hey, guys, it's a small world. I learned how to swim in her great-grandfather's pool on the east side of Milwaukee. It was awesome. Hey, what's going on with you next year? Do you know yet?
Yeah, I'm going to be attending Kennesaw State University. It's about 20 minutes west of Atlanta, and I'm going to be playing Division I lacrosse.
Division I lacrosse. She's a tough one. In fact, she's going to be in studio in a couple of weeks as a superhero that I'll have on my radio show, and I'm so proud of her. Know her family quite well, East Side people. Rosie, it's good to meet you in person.
Thank you.
You bet. Back to you, boys.
We're really going to want to check to see if he shares the cake.
Yes. I don't think that's going to happen. 2nd and inches after that completion to Busateri. They'll run it with Schaff. He'll get the first down, stays on his feet out to the 45-yard line. Grayson there on the stop.
Well, we mentioned how Coach Parr kind of got a double hit on practice, but he had a lot of confidence, especially in his center, Madden Tate, who was a second-team all-conference performer. And so they've kind of reworked the offensive line. And so far, they've been, giving Schaff some creases to run through.
Best Electric Service first down, just shy of the 45-yard line. Furcus will put it up. Back to the near side. Leaping catch across midfield. Max Hoagland able to haul that one in. We'll get the first down, very close to it. Let's see if they give it to him. Might be about a yard shy, and there's also a penalty flag in the backfield. Another nicely thrown ball that time by Furcus. We'll check out the penalty.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards.
You can see why coaches just go nuts with penalties in terms of how it gets you out of rhythm. Suddenly you're behind the chains instead of ahead of the chains.
Makes it a 1st and 20 from the 34-yard line. Furcus will put it up. Trying to.
And Zaira's brother is out tonight. Zion Griffin, pair of twins.
2nd and 20. Schaff spins forward to the 35-yard line. May have gotten a yard, and that's it. He was brought down by McCray up front. Brings up a third, and we'll call it 19. Have to get to the Eagle 46-yard line, I should say, for the first down. So.
Yeah, so far they've had trouble connecting with, some of their receivers. Doug Hamilton is one of their outstanding receivers. He's yet to get a ball.
Talked about him a little bit with the coaching staff before the game. A little small in stature, but a huge heart, plays with a lot of emotion. Comes up with the 16th sack this season by the Case defense.
Yeah, that's Chiori's 5th sack himself, and he stands next to Terrell McRae, who's 6'4", 271. So you've got kind of a mismatch pair out there, but they're able to put pressure on the quarterback, which is one of the keys they thought tonight.
Isilou gets off another booming kick. Trouble in the backfield. Picked up on a bounce. Michael Farr circles back to Farr's sideline and pulled down at the 30 with a penalty marker in the wake. Might be a horse collar tackle here. Let's see. Another great kick by Isilou. Robbie Barker came down to make the tackle, but I believe he's going to be flagged for that horse collar tackle. Oh, they're going to pick it up.
So smooth as he does it.
Eagles back on offense here from their own 30-yard line. They lead at 7-0. Close ball game here at Oak Creek. Fake to Eccles. Chiappetta flushed out of the pocket. Will find a receiver, makes a diving grab at the 34-yard line. Maybe that was Zach DeBaker with the catch. Adam Wendorski covering him that time. A gain of 4 on the play, and great job by DeBaker to hang on to that while going to the turf.
Chiappetta able to avoid that rush, put the ball right on the money.
Set up a 2nd and 6 here for the Eagles. Looks like we got a timeout taken here. Case will take the timeout. With 7:52 to go here in our first half. Let's head downstairs to Mike.
Hey guys, representing Liuna Labor's Local 113, it's Axel Rivera. Hey, thank you so much for what you do and being part of Friday.
They're like in this dispute of what to do, what to go to school for. And I just tell them, just join the union. Okay, you'll be a good base. You can be able to pay your school, and you get great benefits like while you're doing it. And then it just gives you a path. Some people stay forever and make it a career, and you get it's amazing. It's done so much for me in this past 3 years that I came from nothing to what I am right now.
You miss cooking?
I do.
Yeah. You can cook for me anytime. Not for the boys up in the booth.
No,
they don't think I'm going to share this birthday cake I got, and I probably won't.
No, I love cooking. I still do it on my spare time, and I enjoy it. But
That's awesome.
It's what it is.
Well, Axel, thank you. It's nice to meet you. Boys, back to you.
All righty, Mike, thank you very much. Liuna Local 113, our kickoff sponsors this year on our Friday Night Rivals telecast.
We've got an interesting match up here at the bottom of the screen. We can see a real speedster, Lincoln Meyer, lining up across from Isaiah Angelus, who Oak Creek regards as their shutdown corner. Now, we have a gentleman here in the booth with us now. Can maybe talk about being a shutdown corner.
No, them shutdown corner days are over.
Leroy Butler joining us up in the booth here as Eccles gets the call. Breaks his way across the 40, will get the first down. Gain of about 13 on the play by Malachi Eccles. Leroy, it's good to have you up here.
It's good to be here. People know it's no big deal. I live in Oak Creek. But the problem is I got 50 kids on Case side that I mentor. And maybe 150 on the Oak Creek side that I mentor. So, oh boy, wide open. Oh boy.
Big catch by Farr. Touchdown, Case.
Man, right on time. Where was the safety help? Now, that's when I would go up and yell at Reggie White. Get him on the ground before he throws it. That's a big play.
Lost the safety as he got behind Michael Farr. His second touchdown grab tonight as we take another look.
Now we talk about that speed. Farr, he's only 6 feet tall. Excellent high hurdler. Went to state last year in the high hurdles, and you could see him putting that athletic ability to good use.
That's a Steamfitters 601 touchdown brought to you by Steamfitters Local 601.
Yeah, got him on the double move. Most defensive backs on the double move never look in the backfield. Don't matter if it's high school, pros, or whatever. Play the man, and you'll be fine.
Case short a player here on the extra point. They got to send somebody out. Actually, 2 players. They got everybody set. Colin Gardner for the extra point. Line drives it over the crossbar, and it's 14-0 Case. A couple of big plays so far tonight. A 53-yarder, and now this one.
Just that little fake out to the flat.
That's all it takes.
Brought him up. Mitchell Farr, you know, in terms of being the offensive coordinator, wonder if he talks to his nephew and says, hey, we can work something out here.
I think the main thing, it takes the crowd out of it, because now Oak Creek has to, on the offense, don't try to get it all back like the Packers did and cause more mistakes. Next thing you know, you're down 28. So you just got to take it, get back to your system, reset, and try to at least score before the end of the half.
So what are you doing these days? You said you're mentoring students from both Oak Creek and Case?
Yes, I do my Butler versus Bullying program, which we're going to do about 50 schools this year. That's what's Anthem, Blue Cross Blue Shields, and of course the Milwaukee Window guys. I just appreciate the fact that I can tell my story as well as tell kids how I dealt with, you know, mental health and anxiety and things of that nature.
And we got an offside penalty here, I believe, on the kickoff. Let's head downstairs. Mike McGivern.
So, guys, remember I said Hubba was very calm and cool that first quarter? Starting to get after it a little bit. I think he's feeling like he's back at practice, guys. Talking to his offensive line about finishing blocks and his running back, he said, look, stop just trying to find a hole. There's 2 holes here. Just pick one and get through the hole. I love watching Coach Hubba. Coach, he's an awfully good man. And I want to say hello to a friend of mine, Barbara Ratke, who is in rehab. She is rehabbing her legs a little bit in the Grafton area, watching the broadcast, thinking about you, praying for you, Barbara. I hope you get home soon. Boys, back to you.
Mike, thank you so much. Yeah, Coach Hubba's blood pressure can go up and down.
And Barbara, she'll be leaping in no time, trust me. We're praying for you.
The inventor of the leap right here.
Yeah, who cares who does it second, right?
No. Kickoff will go. Morris across the 30 to the 35-yard line. Good field position here for the Oak Creek Knights as they try and get something going. And as you mentioned, Leroy, important here just to take it a play at a time.
Yes.
Don't get it all back at once.
Yes, and I understand it. You keep looking at the scoreboard. So players never look at the scoreboard, win or lose. That's for the interns and analytics department. And then all of a sudden you look up there and you're winning. But sometimes you press a lot. As like Jordan Love is thinking, okay, I got to get it all back. Next thing you know.
That Case has playing both ways.
2 receivers to the left here for the Knights on first down. Ferkus wants to put it up. Has time. Going for it all. And incomplete. Max Hoagland.
Got a flag.
Flag, or I should say the penalty will be on Case here. A little bit of interference, I believe.
Have to ask Leroy if he thought that was, you know, any defensive back ever going to admit to actually interfering?
Well, if you're looking back, it's not interference. But if you're not looking back, you're going to get the flag.
Even that hand on the belt you can get away with if you're looking back.
See, if you go to the referees and be honest with them, they'll let you slide a little bit.
Holding, defense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It'll be a holding called because it occurred before the pass was thrown. So only a 10-yard penalty here. rather than the 15 from the line of scrimmage.
See, I would go to the referee and say, that was a great call. I was holding. The next one, he'll let me slide with it. See,
you might get that next one for free, right?
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
Always an ambassador
Yes.
with the referees, right?
Yes.
So an automatic first down out across the 45-yard line. High snap to Furcus, nowhere to go.
No.
Tries to throw it. Is it a forward pass or a backward pass? They're going to rule it incomplete.
See, never make a bad play worse.
Yeah.
Just take the sack and keep it moving.
That's exactly what you
Yes.
told Brett Favre every
Yes.
time he was doing that. Right?
Yes, don't do that.
Just trying to get it away, and that could have been disaster. As it is, 2nd and 10. Yeah, Brett had a chance to really try and do that, and no,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, exactly. A lot of us do that. I mean, when he threw a pick, he got upset. I said, no, it's my job to go get it back. If a guy got a touchdown on me, he would go throw a bomb to Sterling Sharp. Great team victory.
Schaff, nowhere to go. That edge was set nicely
Yeah.
there by Thomas Lackey, the defensive end. Beautifully done there. Again, that was something Joel Parr talked about, the fact that Case, their edge rushers, get to that point first. And that was concern there as far as trying to get his tight end and his tackles out there to set that edge for the run game.
You can see that Case has been employing a lot of different blitz looks, putting that pressure.
Third and 13. Blitz coming up the middle, just has to get rid of it.
That
It was
definitely was the right call.
My
A screen
yeah.
would have been a big play if he could have got it to him.
One more look here. I believe it was Myshea Grayson coming right up the middle, providing the pressure that time. So mentoring the kids, you enjoy that? That gets you back involved
do.
with the youth. I know you've always
do.
liked that.
I do, because that's where it starts. I mean, but I like to tell them how I dealt with a lot of things. My mom was my hero, and my grandparents were everything to me. So I tell every kid that wants to play sports, anything, your parents are the ones you see every day, and it's your parents and your teachers. My teachers are great.
Punt is blocked. It's rolling inside the 15. Still loose. It'll be
boy.
picked up for a touchdown. Zaire Griffin. The scoop and score off the blocked punt.
Yeah, the personal protector for the punter that time didn't catch quickly enough that we had pressure coming from the outside. He goes to meet it, runs right in.
And that's why I was telling you about maybe not throw the ball, run it, and run. Even if you punt it, you got to wait for your chance.
Second time on special teams. Case has come away with the big play. This time they cash it in for the touchdown. And they've opened up a 20-0 lead. Extra point pending as the sophomore soccer player Colin Gardner gets set to tack on the extra point. This one is up and through. Eagles jumping out to a 21-0 lead. We will take our break. We'll visit with Leroy Butler coming up here when we come back. 6:09 to go here in the first half. It's all Case Eagles on the Gruber Law Office's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Milwaukee Window Guys. The team from the NFL Network's Good Morning Football is huddling up to bring you special guests, the latest from around the league, and a whole lot of fun. GMFB Overtime, weekday mornings from 10 to noon on CW18. Eagles on special teams get the touchdown. 2 big plays on offense, and suddenly they're up 21-0.
Yeah, you know, this is what's frustrating to a typical coach, as he's saying, we're making mistakes. That's handing the other team all the opportunities.
Exactly. I will come back to that screen, though. They seem to have something on that. Maybe they'll come back to that.
Waiting the kick, Colin Gardner. This is going to be a short kick, taken at the 27-yard line. And the ball is out.
Oh, boy.
Still diving for it near the 28-yard line. And Oak Creek will retain possession here. Like it was Connor Peterson who got down there to finally cover it up after it got knocked loose. Friendly fire. Yep.
Same thing with the punt block. Your own guy has been, you got to get some good spacing on that.
Caden Bates in at a running back now for Oak Creek. Trailing 21-0, and Bates gets the call. Tries the left side, the Eagle defense right there. No gain on the play.
Well, we've talked about the speed of Racine Case's defensive, and you really see that coming into play here, even on the screen pass. Sometimes as a lineman, you hear the word screen, you're just going to touch the guy. Not when the guy blows through and gets to your quarterback and disrupts the whole play.
Yep.
Second down and 9. Ball at the 29-yard line. 2 receivers near side. Single receiver up top is Busateri. They're going to come back that way. He'll make the catch, but a short gain just out to the 35-yard line, short of the first down. Zaire Griffin in on that stop.
Don't want to become a broken record here, but we mentioned this defensive coordinator, Dennis Gallagher, also happens to be the head track coach. We've seen a couple of his tracksters, and that time Zaire Griffin, who's also an excellent hurdler, just came flying up, stopped that play right in its tracks.
Great marriage, track and football.
Absolutely.
Particularly on the skill positions. 3rd and 3 from the 35. Furcus going to put it up. Sidearms one, incomplete. Intended over the middle that time for Doug Hamilton, broken up. And so Oak Creek forced to punt again. One more look.
Little sidearm delivery there.
2 receivers in the same area.
Punting has been a real adventure tonight for Oak Creek.
And it's a shame because we talked about Heiselou in practice this week. 60-yard kicks, over 5-second hang time.
Yeah,
when he gets into one.
Both Heiselou and Brady Mobley, also a place kicker for him. All conference performers a year ago.
Driving punt that Farr will take at the 20. Spin move out to the 25, and that's it. Forward progress to the 25-yard line. Adam Wendorski getting down on special teams, able to make the play. Well, Bert told me you're thinking about maybe a food, working on as a cook and a little food show you might be working on?
Yes, I'm working on how do you guys know that?
I said a little bird told me.
Okay, I got to check on that bird. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I have a cooking show called The Butler and the Chef. We're at the chef table with Chef David, and we've had Charlie Barons on, and we had Gilbert Brown and a few other celebrities. And we just kind of teach guys who can't cook. We teach them about cooking.
Are those cooks or eaters?
Both. 2 things can be true. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
The all around Leroy Butler, Hall of Famer, pro football player, and now Cook coming around the near side with it here. Nice run. This time Morrell Jackson on the carry. His first carry tonight. He'll pick up a first down on a little delay.
Yeah, Morrell's only a sophomore. Hasn't gotten the bulk of the carries. That usually goes to Malachi Eccles, but you can see the speed that he has in the open field.
Is there a particular dish that you like to cook that is your favorite, your all-time favorite?
That's a great question. Mac and cheese. I'm the best. I make the best mac and cheese ever.
Well, what makes it different? What makes yours different?
I have 6 cheeses and 6 creams.
Ooh.
So you start diets on Mondays.
Putting it up, looking for far, and just out of his reach,
defense.
incomplete. Good defense, you bet. Isaiah Angelis on the coverage that time. And again, he was the quarterback for this team last year at this time.
Right.
Really?
Yeah. And we mentioned that they look at him as a shutdown corner, and he's been matched up with a couple of the really quick receivers for Case.
Good technique there.
Yeah, very good. Always look back for the ball. If you can't feel the receiver, don't look for the ball. Only look back if you can touch it.
2nd and 10. Hall of Famer Leroy Butler joining us up here in the booth during the second quarter. Chiappetta under pressure, and down he goes.
Good job.
Second tackle for loss, first sack of the night, Gavin Grawl.
Now, Gavin
Sets up 3rd and 20 for the Eagles.
You're right about that, because if that was in the NFL, that's 50,000 and 15 yards. You can't throw the quarterback down. You have to lay him down, whatever that means.
We're going to touch on that here in a little bit. Chiappetta climbing the pocket, has a man out there, completes the pass. Tolan Johnson out of bounds at the Oak Creek 45-yard line. Logan Bone there to make the stop.
Yeah, Chiappetta doesn't panic back there.
No,
he keeps the play alive.
Oh, we had a chance.
Again, 2 routes out there, one coming across, the other just running straight down the sideline, and he hit Tolan Johnson, I should say. Another Best Electric Service first down at the Oak Creek 46-yard line. Late here in the second quarter. Case driving again here. Now a penalty marker. False start penalty here on Case. Yeah, back in the day, Leroy, sacking a quarterback, you could tackle him. Today, you just look at him funny and you're flagged for 15 yards.
It started with Brady when
Offense, 5-yard penalty.
When Brady got hit low, he hurt his knee. They said, well, okay, you can't hit him around the knees, can't hit him in the head. So they actually come to training camp and kind of show you the area. But mainly they're basically telling you to get the football out. If you go for the football, most quarterbacks will just drop unless you get a hit that you can just run through the torso. But the thing about it is you can't hurt your team by, for some reason, a helmet-to-helmet hit or something.
1st and 15, Chiappetta with time, coming back across the field, looking for Lincoln Meyer, incomplete.
Great coverage.
Yep, another great coverage there. Gabe Olson out there getting some help with Villarreal.
Mentioned Meyer's speed, but you also saw him give the defensive back a little subtle shove there, the ball in the air. You know, drives DBs nuts when they don't get the call go for them for, you know.
Yeah, I thought the back judge was going to throw a flag, but I guess he decided not to.
Isn't that something that you work on to keep the hands right around the waist as a defender?
You would like to control his waist, because wherever his waist goes, that's where he goes. And just don't go for any head fakes. That's the one that gets people.
That's the one that gets you. You got it. 2nd and 15. Delay here to Eccles. He is spinning out of a couple of tackles before he's finally brought down at the 48-yard line. Stayed in bounds, so the clock will roll here under 3 minutes to go.
I do like the way that Oak Creek is still playing hard, though,
right,
and being down 21-0.
Yeah, their defensive coordinator, Steve Lutnick, has been around for a long time. You can see he's starting to put some pressure. They've had a couple sacks. You know, if they can just quit shooting themselves in the foot, things are going to go, much tighter.
Coming up in the Wendy's halftime report, tonight we're going to highlight this week's Russ Darrow Automotive Group Scholar Athlete nominees. We'll also meet a few of our sponsors. And we'll take a look at our first half highlights. That's all coming up at halftime, brought to you by Wendy's. 3rd and long now for the Eagles. 3rd and 12 from the 48.
Timeout.
And the Eagles will take a timeout. So this mac and cheese, this intrigues me now. I want to go back to this.
Yes. I like mine to look kind of a Packer color. So I use sharp cheddar and the mozzarella, really, and some fresh parsley on it. But mainly it tastes different because it's very creamy and goes in the oven. Matter of fact, you can get it Pick and Save / Leroy Butler. It's sitting right there for free.
Right.
For free. Names of some of these kids. I admire you.
Sometimes we're not able to say them. So.
But you sound amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
3rd and 12 from the 48.
Another flag.
Flag down on a screen pass. Caught by Eccles, but DeVillio there on the stop, but we'll check out the marker. If there's one thing tonight, Anton Graham is probably talking. And
legal shift.
Yep, this will go against the Eagles.
Do you decline it?
I think you do.
It
was short of the line to gain.
Legal shift, offense, penalties decline.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, 2-minute offense. Let's go.
First punt of the night now for Case.
Been quite a busy week for Coach Anton Graham with the birth of his son, Anton Graham Jr.
Nice.
And so I also had the chance to, I don't know if I'd say talk with his 2-year-old daughter at practice, but very, very talkative young lady. And
you should consider yourself lucky. She likes you.
Yeah, she didn't like the coach that Coach Graham assigned to take care of her that day.
Let this one hit the turf, picking up on the bounce, coming back near side with it.
Oh.
And out of bounds near the 28-yard line. Isaiah Angelis on the return, brought down by Myshay Grayson. That's an area that Oak Creek has been working on in practice. When we got here on Monday, it was an open tryout for punt returning.
They were looking for somebody that was not only going to catch the ball, but someone who could be a threat.
Perhaps they found that in Angelis. As you said, Leroy, 2-minute offense now.
You still got your 3 timeouts. To me, the first place should be a draw or a screen just to get into the flow of it. Take the pressure off the quarterback.
Bobbled snap. Still loose on the turf.
See, now there's a bad play.
The Eagles recover. Myshay Grayson. One more look. I don't think Coach Hubba is going to be calm and cool anymore tonight.
If we put that blood pressure cuff on his arm, it might explode. We wouldn't want to see that happen.
Second bad snap tonight. The other occurred on a punt. This one in shotgun, so Case takes over for the second time tonight in the Bryant and Stratton College red zone. This season when a team gets inside their opponent's 20, they enter the Bryant and Stratton College red zone. Bryant and Stratton College, built different for you.
Well, it's critical now that Oak Creek doesn't give up another score. Because you can see how wide open Case likes to run their offense. And with that threat of a deep ball, make something like that draw a very attractive play.
3 receivers to the right, single receiver near side is Farr. He has a couple of touchdowns tonight. They'll go back over the middle. Oh, he had the man there. Tolan Johnson just couldn't hang on. It was a low throw, but Johnson, if he were honest, he'd tell you he should have brought that one in.
Yeah, you look at this receiving core for Racine Case. Young, sophomores, juniors. The only senior is Lincoln Meyer. Bright future for Case in terms of its offensive threats.
So, Leroy, what other things going on? You mentioned mentoring, the cooking show that you're working on, and anything else going on?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of things with marketing, and we're teaching classes now how to start businesses for some of the kids. And I think more than anything, just teaching them to find out what are you good at. And that just starts with discussion. I have my own AI company that I started that was August Allen. I'm so excited about that. You can go to LeroyButlerInc.com for more information about that. It's just how do you market and talk about your brand, and you could do it all with really a QR code. So I'm very excited about that.
How much of that is coming from being on a team sport-oriented career such as yourself, and knowing that in business it's all about teams and matching up talent in the right spots?
That's a great question, because I don't want the defense to say, as they score again, Case.
What a pass there. Dropping a dime into Tolan Johnson. He gets into the act, and Case pouring it on here in the final minute of this second quarter.
And the reason why I say that's a great question, because you go into halftime, you don't want the defense and the offense to get in shouting matches. Or special team, now you're kind of going against each other. You got to do what the Packers did when they were down 28-0. You got to form some semblance of a comeback to make Case feel the pressure. Otherwise, it could get ugly.
Well, we mentioned how Coach Joe Parr said this Case team was flying under the radar, that people didn't realize how good they were and how much talent they have. And we pointed out at the beginning of the show how, they're flexing, who they are, because they want to get to second in the conference. You're probably not going to catch Franklin, but if you're second in this conference, get a decent seed for the playoffs, a lot of good things can happen.
We're going to re-kick here. There was holding on the kicking team here by Case, so try for the extra point going to be pushed back a little bit further.
Holding, kicking team, 10-yard penalty, retry.
Now I have a question for you experts. The pink flags, is it for breast cancer?
Yes.
Okay.
It's October, and it's cancer awareness. And the Case student section across the way there.
Oh, that's nice.
They are supporting the Cancer Society. There you get a good look at it.
That's a great shot. And whoever the cameraman, producer, shout out to them. That's amazing.
Well, Jason does a pretty good job. We're happy with him.
Yes, that's excellent work.
Try for the extra point will come from the 20 here. And this time it is blocked.
Okay, so that can be some momentum.
He's going to return it, but the officials are going to rule that it
let him
did
score.
not cross
we need
the line of
anything
scrimmage.
right now. Anything that's similar to a touchdown.
And we don't get the return for points at the high school level.
Chris Borman's going to explain.
Yeah. And I think for the most thing, back to breast cancer, the NFL wanted to do a wider tent, so we just do the crucial catch for the entire month. And then we go right into salute to service for all of the military and police officers too. Anybody who, the real heroes to me, help people who you don't know. So, and if you have somebody out there struggling with breast cancer, prostate cancer, you just tell them to keep fighting. We love them, and that's the reason why we do stuff like this. So.
This will be Giovanni Gonzalez to kick off here for Case.
Yeah, they picked up a couple kickers off the soccer team, and as long as they don't have a conflict with their soccer schedule, the soccer coach is more than happy to have them help out the football team.
Lyuna Local 113 kickoff. This will go to Gabe Olson. Check that. That is Dennis Morris. Nice return out across the 30-yard line with yet another penalty flag down. Aiden Wallen there on the stop. There you see the pink flags tonight, the officiating crew with pink whistles and pink flags tonight. And a horse collar tackle here against Case, so this will move the football out toward midfield. So
now before that penalty, I apologize. Sure. I was saying just run the ball and get into the locker room, but now with the 15 yards tacked on, depends on the field position, maybe try something.
There's a return. Personal foul, horse collar tackle. Take your team, 15 yards, first down.
Blake Furcus has a strong arm.
Yes, he does. And we were dying to see him air it out a little bit here, and we watched him in practice as we'll get a look at the, there it is right there.
Yeah.
Horse collar tackle that time. Aiden Wallen, the guilty party. Sean Raffaelli, I agree. He says kind of a tweener. But now you've got 3 timeouts yet.
Yes.
With 45 seconds. See what you can do.
Just have to have their pass protection hold up.
Yes.
Case has been able to sneak a guy through, and they're coming off the edges.
Get rid of it.
Furcus in trouble. Gets it downfield, makes the catch.
Get out of bounds. Get out of bounds.
Trying to run it out of bounds.
Okay.
Inside the 15. Clock will stop. Wow, negated the biggest play of the night for Oak Creek. Called back on a holding call. Oh. Now I think with 33, we're 15 yards deeper.
I know people on television see the 3 men down, but actually brought 6. Sometimes when you think it's just a 3-man rush and you bring pressure, it throws the offensive line timing off.
They'll line up 4 on the line of scrimmage. They'll walk a couple of linebackers up. They will run it. Caden Bates. Nice run, got those 10 yards back. And that will take us to halftime. Our Wendy's halftime report coming up in just a bit. Leroy Butler.
It was a pleasure.
It's been my pleasure. We'll be back with the Wendy's halftime report right after this. You're watching Friday Night Rivals on My 24. Welcome into our Wendy's halftime report here on My 24. Case on top 27-0. As we begin our halftime with our Scholar Athlete nominees, brought to you by the Russ Darrow Automotive Group. And from Case High School in Racine, our nominee is Lincoln Meyer. Lincoln participates in track, football, and basketball and carries a 3.74 GPA. He has been selected all-county in track and is a 2-time state qualifier in the 4x100 and triple jump. Lincoln is also a state qualifier in the 4x200 and triple jump. Giving back to the community, Lincoln helps with Case High School tax services through the Volunteer Income Tax Association program in Racine, and also works along with his mother in a community dental program. And according to Case AD Joe Arbinger, Lincoln is a great teammate and a role model for all at Case. From Oak Creek High School, our nominee is Michael Busateri. Michael competes in football and basketball, carries a 4.037 GPA, and is ranked 37th in his class of 539. He's also a member of the National Honor Society. Michael has been on the Oak Creek Academic Honor Roll for all 4 years and was selected by his teammates as captain on the basketball team. Michael is both an academic all-conference and all-state athlete selection. He gives back to the community by volunteering with Coos for Kids and coaching at youth basketball camp. He plans to attend UW Parkside with a goal of becoming a pediatrician. Congratulations to this week's Scholar Athlete nominees. Our weekly nominees will be in the running to receive a $5,000 scholarship brought to you by the great folks at the Russ Darrow Automotive Group. Discover the Darrow difference. Downstairs we go to birthday boy Mike McGivern.
So, guys, representing the United States Coast Guard, Mo Ansari, 17 years in the Coast Guard. It looks to me like he joined when he was 10. I got to be honest with you. You know, we talked about the decision to join, and you said, look, I wanted to see the world. I wanted to give back to something that was bigger than I was. And to be able to serve the United States, which is awesome, your mom's got to be so proud.
She is. Thank you.
Hey, talk to me about the best part about being in the Coast Guard. And when you get a chance to talk to these kids out here, juniors, seniors that are thinking, look, I'm not sure what I want to do, what do you tell them about your experience with the Coast Guard?
Well, that's the beauty of it. You can really do anything you want to do in the Coast Guard. My favorite thing to do is to travel and see the world, and I've gotten to do that over the last 17 years, places that I would have never gotten to go to. So it's great.
Hey, when I asked you if you could snap your fingers and go to someplace you've been, what did you say?
Costa Rica.
It's beautiful.
So beautiful.
Hey, the fact that you serve our country and you are, you know, protecting people, has got to be able to, it's something for you to be able to sleep well at night. When you get done with the Coast Guard, is there anything in this world you can't do?
No.
There's not.
Nothing. I can do it all.
Hey, you grew up in Maryland, not around the water, and I love the fact that you joined the Coast Guard to be able to serve and see our country. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you bet. Boys, back to you.
It's the Wendy's halftime report from Oak Creek High School. Southeast Conference matchup tonight. Case in front of Oak Creek, 27-0. Back with more after this, right here on My 24. Oak Creek Marching Knights Band performing here at halftime. Knights trailing 27-0. Let's head downstairs. Your United States Army interview, and here is Mike.
Hey, guys, Staff Sergeant John Wright, Oak Creek grad. and I love it. That boy can't come home. I had asked you, did somebody recruit you? And you said, no, I walked right in. But, boy, what a great place for you to be able to come home. Talk a little bit about your days at Oak Creek and how the U.S. Army's changed your life.
Yeah, it was awesome, man, and it's really cool to come full circle for sure. You know, I mean, I played on this field a couple years back, but the Army has really changed my life in a lot of aspects, you know, giving me opportunities that I never thought I'd have. But it's an awesome experience.
So where were you before getting back to Milwaukee?
I was at Fort Liberty, North Carolina, the home of the Airborne.
Well, I'll tell you, hopefully everybody's safe there with what was going on. When you get a chance, I just talked to the Coast Guard, and I asked him when he talks to kids, you know, what does he say? He said, look, for me, I got to see the world, and I'm wondering for you, when you get a chance to talk to these kids from Oak Creek, what do you tell them?
The biggest thing that I try to tell these kids is this: the opportunities are endless in the Army. You know, like, it doesn't matter what job you get, there's endless opportunities to better yourself in the future and just throughout life.
Yeah, and the career side of it, right? When you're talking to some kids, and I get a chance to talk to high school kids a lot, and they're undecided. Look, do I want to go to college? Do I want to go to a junior college? Do I want to get in the trades? And when they find out more about the service, it seems to me like you guys do a great job of painting the honest picture.
Yeah, and I mean, in my opinion, the military is the best option to go in that, because if you don't know what you want to do, you kind of have some time to figure it out. And if you want to go to college, it's paid for by the military after that. So you kind of get that buffer period, and you're getting paid and learning skills the entire time. So,
man, you can't beat that. Guys, he is John Wright. He's an Oak Creek grad, and he gets to come back to the school to tell kids at this school what it's like to join the U.S. Army. Thanks for your service.
Thank you.
Man, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Boys, back to you.
Let's take a look at plays from across the country.
Night lights and Friday Night Rivals highlights from across the country.
Gaisford corner. That pass high and caught. One-handed catch.
Under the rain that has been steady since kickoff, and it's a fake. It's a fake running up the middle, and with the first down is Omeza Danian. Some trickery on special teams, and Green Hill converts.
On their own 3-yard line. Judkins, it hit hard, right in the hands of Landon Crozier for the big red touchdown.
Oh, right place, right time, man. Great defensive play.
Coordinators thinking 2 plays here. Ball's on the ground. Vogel's trying to make something out of nothing, and does. He's still on his feet. Vogel to the 15, to the 10. Touchdown, Vogel! Talk about stick-to-itiveness. That play was blown up, and that young man just wouldn't give up.
Field goal attempt. If they're inside, they'll probably go for it a third time.
Compton trying to find a way, and he's going to run out of defenders. He still has the football. Throw it into the end zone. Is it a catch? They call it a catch.
That's a look at best plays across the country on Friday Night Rivals and Thursday Night Lights. Earlier this week, Mike had an opportunity to talk with men's basketball coach from Bryant and Stratton College, Chuck Ruffing.
Always the hardest. Yeah. Hey, guys, thank you. I'm here with Chuck Ruffing. He is the head men's basketball coach here at Bryant and Stratton College. 23-10 year one, back for year two. Congratulations, Coach. Hey, you're coming back for year two, feeling pretty good about what you've got coming back?
For sure. We got a really good group of guys that are coming in. We had a lot of success year one, and we're looking to just build on that year two.
Hey, Coach, when you talk to kids at this age at the high school level, all over the state, what do you tell them why they should be coming to become a Bobcat?
Well, first and foremost, we're an extremely competitive program in the junior college scene, so we're going to try to compete nationally this year like we did last year. We had a couple weeks where we're receiving votes, and so we're hoping to crack the top 20 this year. But on top of that, you got an opportunity to get a great education. You're going to be on really good people, professors, administration, you name it, really, really good people that are going to care about you.
Coach, year two is different than year one. I'm sure the template has been set. Good luck in year 2, and keep up the good work. Doing a great job here at Bryant Stratton.
I appreciate it very much, Mike. We're gonna do what we can.
Not bad for a boy from De Pere. Boys, back to you up in the booth.
All right, Mike, thank you. We'll take a break. More of the Wendy's halftime report when we come back. You're watching Friday Night Rivals on My 24. Back at Oak Creek High School, 27-0 Case on top of Oak Creek. Let's head downstairs. Our Carthage College interview. Here's Mike.
Hey guys, here with the head football coach at Carthage. It's really good to get to know him a little bit. Hey, Coach, homecoming tomorrow. Feeling pretty good about where this team is at right now?
Yeah, our guys are really bought in. They've been working really hard every day. Felt like we had our best week of practice. Told them just cut loose and have a lot of fun. Going to be in front of our families, alumni, great crowd. We'll have people tailgating at 8 a.m. for a 1 o'clock kickoff. So it's going to be a great college environment and, ready to get after it and compete.
Coach, when I talked to you last time you were on the sidelines with me, I said, look, it's so good to have a Carthage football coach here. And I asked you about recruiting. You said, look who's out here. There's athletes all over the field, and we got to get some of these guys. Once you get them on campus, Coach, that's the key. No doubt. It's getting them to be on campus, right on the lake, beautiful facilities, great education opportunity, and a place to really compete and at top level of football. And you're seeing the great guys out here compete on both sides of the ball. Oak Creek with great tradition. Racine Case, a place that's uprising. Their coach is a former college player. His dad played at Carthage, actually. So you're seeing a lot of competitive, tough people out there that we want to be a part of our program. You don't give Anton any smack about going to Whitewater after his dad went to Carthage, do you? I got to bust his chops a little bit, but, no, Anton does a great job with the kids. He's an incredible role model leader. There's just great high school coaches like him all over the state of Wisconsin. And it's why we want these guys to come here to Carthage and continue that for us at this program. Coach, good luck the rest of the way. I hear nothing but good things about where you're taking this program. It might not show up yet in wins and losses, but guys who have coached a long time understand the process. Keep up the good work. Appreciate you. Thank you for having me. Yeah, you bet. Boys, back to you.
Mike and Matt, thank you very much. Matt Paponi, big homecoming game against Elmhurst tomorrow. Let's take a look at our highlight package, which incidentally brought to you by Carthage College. And Case got off the schneid here early.
Nice deep ball by Giappetta, and there's the ever-present
Michael Farr. And then turnovers in this ball game have plagued Oak Creek on special teams.
Coach Parr was expecting a close game, and I think it would have been had it not been for so many errors.
This is the 60-yard touchdown grab by Michael Farr, his second of the ball game. Made it 14-0, but the Eagles are going to get some help on special teams here. Blocked by its own man, ball spinning around, and it was finally picked up by Zaire Griffin, who marches in on the scoop and score. That made it 21-0, and then a bobbled snap, loose football. My Shade Grayson scoops it up, and that set up this touchdown. Chiapetta to Tolan Johnson.
Self-inflicted wounds are just killing Oak Creek.
Our highlights brought to you by
interviewing Leroy Butler. We worked together a long time, and he's a better man than he was a football player, and he's a Hall of Fame football player, and that servant leadership heart. I've heard him speak about his grandmother and his family and what they taught him about giving back to our presenting Milwaukee window guys tonight, and what a good company. Man, they sell a great window and very excited about what they do in our community.
Yeah, the good thing about it, they did my mother-in-law entire house in Racine, and she loved it. Her new doors and windows, she saved 30% on the heating bill. And then now I just want everybody to get that same experience.
Yeah.
So you go to MilwaukeeWindowGuys.com to the end of the year, just mention LEAP. I'm going to give you 20% more off already low prices. I'm doing it personally.
Hey, that's Leroy Butler giving things. Leroy, last thing, you're still doing some anti-bullying campaign work, and I'm telling you, I've probably told thousands of people throughout the years what a great guy you are with what you do with that program. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the thing about it, I tell kids how I dealt with bullying, anxiety, depression, being in the inner city, single family home. I did it because I listened to my heroes. My heroes were my parents and my grandparents and my teachers. My teachers were amazing, and all they told me is to keep my blinders on, don't get distracted by so many negative things, and be a leader, not a follower. But if you're going to follow, choose the right leaders, and it was my teachers and my parents.
Hey guys, when Leroy Butler tells you Milwaukee window guy that where you need to go and he's going to give an extra 20%, trust him. One of the best people I've ever met in my life. I had him talk to my basketball teams over at Martin Luther, and I'm telling you, they never listen to me the way they listen to him. Hey, Leroy, it's good to see you again.
Thank you. Don't forget to use LEAP when you call in. LEAP. That's how you're going to get the extra 20%.
Extra 20% off by saying LEAP. Boys, back to you.
Mike, thank you. Leroy is an excellent person. I'll tell you what, he just fantastic. And
great mentor. Great mentor for so many.
Absolutely, a fine mentor. Second half set to come your way. That concludes our Wendy's halftime report, brought to you by Wendy's. Third quarter, right around the corner on My 24. Eagles lead it here by 27-0 score as we get set for the third quarter. Case will get the football. And, well, you talk about keys to the game tonight. How prophetic Oak Creek's keys here tonight.
Yeah, we said as we looked at the game that Oak Creek couldn't allow home run plays, had to control the line of scrimmage, utilize their excellent kicking game, and that just really hasn't come to fruition. Now, what's important now isn't just do you come back and win, it's how do you play? Because moving forward, Oak Creek knows that they've got capability, but they just have to execute cleanly.
Michael Farr deep. Lyuna local 113 kickoff. Heiselu will boot this one through the end zone. Case will take it at their own 20-yard line. Big plays in that first half for Case. Chiappetta 7 for 12, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 of them to Farr for big plays.
Right. I mean, that home run play has really been in effect here tonight.
Eccles 8 rushes for 30 yards tonight so far for Case. As we begin our second half, Mike McGivern on the sideline, Jerry Kelly, John Weiser up in the booth. From the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Farr in motion. Coming around at far side, yet another penalty flag. Oh, this has just been a penalty-infested ball game tonight. Another call against Case.
Yeah, that's thwarted a couple other drives that they've had going, and we mentioned that keys to the game for Case. Put some pressure on the quarterback. All they can check that off. They've done that. They've got to be physical, and we've seen them demonstrate that. And finish drives. Well, a lot of their drives have been home run plays. They finish them quickly.
1st and 20 for the Eagles. Ball back to the 10-yard line. Eccles back in there at a running back. In motion to the far side, Lincoln Meyer, and now a penalty flag here. My goodness. No flow to this game since about the middle of the second quarter because of the penalties.
I don't know if I can try to be prophetic right now. You know, if Case doesn't get off to a good start, it's been interesting to note on the sidelines, all 5 of the offensive linemen for Case have been very busy, Oak Creek, talking with their coaches. I would imagine they've said, you got to lift us. You got to help us be successful.
1st and 25 from the 5-yard line. Meyer in motion. They'll give it to Eccles. Big hole up the right side across the 10 out to the 12-yard line. 7-yard pickup. Adam Windorski, the inside linebacker. He's played a pretty good ball game tonight for Oak Creek, making the stop.
You can see that quickness of Eccles as he cuts through that line. He's through that hole so quickly.
And that's been maybe the defining attribute of this Case team. Speed at all positions. They're quick on the offensive line, quick on the defensive line. Their linebackers close, and they've got exceptional skill with their receivers and running backs. Again, Meyer in motion. Again, it's Eccles. Finds a nice hole across the 15 out to about the 18-yard line. Another 6-yard pickup. And now you're talking 3rd and manageable here, 3rd and 11.
You know, they run that man in motion partially as, something to, distract the defense. But what'll come next is, since they've run 2 running plays up the middle afterwards, watch if they give it on the jet sweep and get that guy to the outside.
Third and 11 from the 19. Meyer across the formation. Chiappetta going to put it up. Back over the middle. Farr with a catch across the 35. Out to the 37-yard line before he is driven back. Gain of 16 and a first down. Logan Bone and Jackson Villarreal both in on the stop, the two safeties for Oak Creek.
Yeah, watching Case at practice, you really came to appreciate the skill Chiappetta has putting that ball into the hands of his receivers, and we've commented so often on their speed and their moves.
They'll spot it at the 36. Best electric service first down there for Case. Eccles trying to gain the edge. Pulled down at the 40-yard line. Adam Wendorski with the tackle. Gain of about 4. Sets up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, Case has Racine Horlick next week, a tough match for them, and they finish up the regular season with Kenosha Bradford.
Oak Creek will wrap up its season with Tremper and Bradford on the schedule.
Yeah, Case would very much like to finish the regular season 8.
Yeah, it's all about right now, as you said, how Oak Creek responds here and how Case overcoming 3 penalties to start this drive. I think that little drag across the formation that time by Farr.
Farr is also a basketball player, so you've got that 3-sport athlete, and his abilities are sure shining through this evening.
Third and 2. Chiappetta had it stripped from behind, ball loose. Oak Creek says they have it. Night ball. Lincoln Hansen, I believe, came up with it for Oak Creek. Ball did not move forward.
I think that was Landon DeVillio, didn't it?
That looked like DeVillio, yeah. He got the start tonight. Again, Andy Trzynski out with a broken hand.
Now here's where Oak Creek must convert.
This is a must possession, you're correct. Blake Furcus at quarterback will hand it off. Caden Bates starting to see some more carries here. I don't know if Schaff is hurt, but last couple of times they've ran the ball, it's been with Bates. Thomas Lackey there on the stop. Dennis Morris will bring the play in from the sideline. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. Doug Hamilton split out to the far side along with Michael Busateri. Morris the single receiver here on the near side. Furcus under pressure. Furcus going to go down for the 2nd time tonight. Thomas Lackey there on 18 as a unit. Through 6 again. Furcus sacked back at the 46-yard line. That might have been Maisha Grayson along with Kiori Owens. And a holding call here, which will be declined by the Eagles to bring up 4th down.
Holding, offense. Penalties declined, 4th down.
Not the response that Oak Creek needed to have, and I'm sure Coach Hubba is probably, just scratching his head trying to figure out what do we do next.
And again, that was a key to the game for Case tonight, was get pressure. They almost got another block. End over end kick. Gets past Farr and rolls into the end zone for a touchback. That was a dangerous play there on the part of Farr, trying to play shortstop.
Yeah, he came close to touching that.
So we'll take our break. 27-0 Case on top of Oak Creek. This is the Gruber Law Office's Friday Night Rivals presented by Milwaukee Window Guys. Consider your Saturday night's plans pinned. Step into the squared circle for 3 full hours of breathtaking action and adrenaline with WOW Women of Wrestling and OVW Rise. That's Saturday starting at 9 right here on My 24. Touchback on the punt puts Case on the ball at their own 20-yard line. Their second possession here of this second half. Eccles met at the line of scrimmage, may have squeezed out a yard, wrapped up immediately by Landon DeVillio. Call it no gain, so 2nd and 10. Chiappetta from the pistol. Comes back right side, leaping grab out across the 38-yard line. Catch made by Tolan Johnson, his second reception tonight for the sophomore. Logan Bone in coverage.
Yeah,
that's his 4th catch.
Coverage wasn't bad this evening. Chiappetta has just been putting that ball on the mark.
And credit that offensive line. He's had a lane to throw most of the night. Eccles busts his way across the 40 out to the short of the 45-yard line. Our closed captioning tonight is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. 5 on that rip by Eccles. Sets up 2nd and 5. Meyer and DeBaker lined up here as receivers to the near side. Eccles, nowhere to go. Once again, first man in. Looked like it was Gavin Grawl along with Jordan Kolbeck. Let's go downstairs. Mike, what do you have?
Hey, guys, 2 student managers. One is Day. I got to wish her a happy birthday. It was her birthday yesterday. How long you been doing this?
For 1 year.
Are you having fun?
Yes.
Yeah, she tripped. She did not look very graceful, by the way. Stephanie, how long have you been doing this?
For 1 year.
Yeah, you having fun?
Yes, I am.
Did you wish her a happy birthday?
Yes, I did.
Guys, they work hard over here. They're really nice kids. Boys, back to you.
Penalty flag at the snap. Chiappetta will go down for a sack, 3rd sack tonight. We'll check out the penalty flag. It was thrown at the line of scrimmage, I suspect, in illegal formation.
Yep, illegal procedure. You know, something interesting to note here for Racine Case. They've got both their tight ends are out. Jacob Houghton is an excellent tight end. Has a broken collarbone he's recovering from, and Dalen Ward. So we haven't seen him in a 2 tight end set. Now you imagine with the wide receivers that they have, some things they can do if the running game becomes even more of a threat. You know, I think moving forward, you know, Racine Case is somebody you're going to have to watch in the playoffs.
Case will punt here as the penalty was declined. They'll take the play, sets up 4th down. Off the side of the foot, will skip across midfield. Oak Creek will pick it up here on the near sideline, and darting out of bounds with it is Doug Hamilton. Well, listen to Mike McGivern and Ryan McMillan tomorrow morning starting at 9 for the Varsity Blitz High School Sports Show presented by your local Pick and Save stores. They'll be joined in studio by Greg Clark from the AAYFL. They'll also catch up with Joe Cook down in Paradise, Texas, and talk about how retirement is going for Pat Rice out at Waunakee. That's tomorrow morning starting at 9 on the big 920 AM or the iHeart radio app. Once again, Oak Creek gifted with good field position here. Need to get something out of this drive. Firkus slings it out. Doug Hamilton, I believe that's his 2nd catch tonight, out to midfield. Gain of about 7 on the play. brought down by Tolan Johnson.
Yeah, Hamilton had been their leading receiver coming into tonight's game, and they just haven't been able to get to the ball out to him enough tonight.
Big game last week against Park. He had an 80-yard touchdown reception. That was starting the second half of that ball game and put the running clock in effect. 2nd and 3 from midfield. Firkus slings it out, completes the pass. Gets it out near side to Carson Dotchel, the tight end. Inocencio in on that stop. So a Best Electric Service first down, just shy of the 41-yard line of Case. Eagles getting a pair of touchdown receptions to Michael Farr. Tolan Johnson with a touchdown and a scoop and score on the defense on special teams tonight. That pass thrown high and incomplete, looking for Caden Bates out of the backfield. Sets up 2nd and 10 with 2:07 to go here in the third. See what Oak Creek dials up here. They'll send Hamilton and Busateri out to the left. Max Hoagland lined up single receiver near side. Back to the far side. Minimal gain. Doug Hamilton stepping out of bounds with it. Pickup of about 3. We'll set up a 3rd and 7 here for the Knights. Adam Contreras, the strong safety.
That sidearm motion of Firkus is kind of intriguing. That was a long throw across the field, all the way from the right hash to the far side. So we know he has a strong arm. It's been a question of how much time does he have in that pocket to make those passes.
Morrison Hoagland will come to the near side. Busateri lined up far side single reek.
Inocencio on the year, 54 tackles he's been in on, 10 tackles for a loss, sack, an interception, tip pass now.
Excellent job. He'll get the turnover chain. Stay tuned later in the game. We'll have our protect, defend, save play of the game. That's what up. Chiappetta looking for Farr, but well overthrown. He was well covered, too, on the play. Isaiah Angelis, the corner on man-to-man coverage that time.
Yeah, they were able to complete the one pass over Angelis right before the half for a touchdown, but most of the night he has done an excellent job covering these quick receivers.
Eccles with a burst of speed out across, coughed the football up, and Oak Creek has recovered. I believe it was Golonsky who set the ball or recovered the football. We'll take a look at the hit. Carter Golonsky with the recovery. That might have been Villarreal with that hit to knock that ball loose. Let's take a look. Certainly was. Villarreal with the hit. And Golonsky with the recovery. So again, Oak Creek given opportunities here, but
just haven't been able to capitalize. And Golonsky earlier this season was able to pick up a fumble, return it for a touchdown.
Back in business at the Case 40-yard line. Offside. Once again, that was Inocencio who had that interception earlier. He was looking for a sack. Trying to time that blitz off the edge. He's going to go for the hat trick tonight. Sack, an interception.
Right.
Needs a fumble recovery. And
you can see how Case really wants to be disruptive with how they're putting the pressure.
I'm impressed with this Case team, really am. The pressure, the speed at every position. Showing blitz here again off the edge.
And I think he violated the neutral zone again, or no, he caused the false start.
Yep. Left guard move that time.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Coach Hubba walking all the way out to the numerals. That's Coach Hubba right there. Practice, we saw this in practice. He was not happy for that reason. He wanted the offensive line to man open. Hoagland, it's overthrown. Max Hoagland got away from the defense that time, but simply ran out of real estate. That pass thrown to the chalk that time.
You know, part of the game plan that Racine Case's defense has with Dennis Gallagher, they take number 9, Thomas Lackey. They put him on that outside shoulder of the offensive tackle, and they just tell him, you go. Don't worry about anything. They're going to let the linebacker scrape behind him to cover that outside. And he's so quick that he gets to, you know, in the quarterback's face.
Caden Bates in the backfield here on 2nd and 10. Fake it, nowhere to go, ball out. And let's see. Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm going to rule it an incomplete pass.
I don't know if his arm ever came up to throw, though. I thought the ball was being held low.
Another penalty flag as well. Grayson providing the pressure. Well, maybe he did spike it. Maybe one more. If we got one more look, I think it looked like he made a move to throw that ball into the turf, and it's an intentional grounding because it did not cross the line of scrimmage. Here's another look. Watch.
There's 2 guys there before you can.
He had no choice but to throw it, save the play, or at least think he was going to save the play, but because it did not reach the line of scrimmage. Now, had he scrambled and thrown that over the sideline into the stands, it would be okay. But because he threw it directly into the ground, Grayson's had a fine night tonight, 9 tackles this evening. Quarterback sack, a fumble recovery. Busy young man. I think his nickname is Disruption. There he is.
Their team speed has certainly been a big plus this evening.
Again, they've only allowed 7 points in the 3rd quarter. 51-yard punt with the roll. Case will take over here. Again, it's just allowed 7 points in the 3rd quarter this season. That's it. They've only given up an average 17 points a game.
Well, they talk about how they performed, you know, the second half against Franklin. They thought they more than held their own. Had a few, you know, first conference game jitters, hurt them a little bit, but coaching staff, Case, is very pleased with how they developed. But, you know, Coach Anton Graham has brought a lot of his teammates from the Racine Raiders with him.
You got Mitchell Farr, Gerald Bester, Marcus Holloway, I should say, Justin Benko, Naz Parker, Nick Nelson. They all spent 7 years together on the Racine Raiders. Delay of game Moves it inside the 1. I think Chris Borman's been on the TV more than Mike McGivern's sideline reports tonight. More movement. We'll get those 5 yards back. Be a 1st and 5, I believe. Has just taken the flow out of this game since middle of the second quarter. It seems like every drive has had 2 or 3 penalties just to Leo Chiappetta's had quite a night. 3 touchdown passes tonight for the quarterback. This time he'll turn around and hand it off. Moving the pile forward. Nice strong run out to about the 9-yard line. 4-yard pickup. Looked like it was Wendorski and Golonsky in on that tackle. Case will let the clock run out, and we'll head to the 4th quarter. An all Racine Case tonight, although they've given Oak Creek some opportunity here in the second half, unable to take advantage of it. We'll head to the 4th. Eagles 27, Knights nothing. This is the Gruber Law Office's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Milwaukee Window Guys. Mike McGivern, Terry Kelly, John Weiser with you from Oak Creek High School. Case on top 27-0 as we start the 4th. Strong run. Shy of the 10-yard line. Going to be about a yard short of the first down. It's Michael Farr on the carry. They're running him out of the backfield here now. Farr with a pair of touchdown receptions tonight. Now with 7 on the season. This will be a 3rd and 1. Give it to Farr, has a hole. Farr upfield, tripped up near the 30-yard line. 20-yard run by Michael Farr. Isaiah Angelis there to make the stop, but moved the chains.
Now we're seeing a double tight end formation, and they're using an offensive lineman as their other tight end just to get the blocking.
Best Electric Service first down. Fresh set of downs here for Case. And this is where you got problems because you're running an offensive lineman at tight end. Not quite sure of the play and the blocking assignment. That's Camarion Williams, and another delay here. Oh. Let's go down to the sidelines and Mike.
So, guys, I'm here with Staff Sergeant Annika Garnett from the U.S. Marine Corps. Thank you so much for joining us. How long have you been in the Marine Corps?
I've been in about 7.5 years.
So when you made that decision back 7.5 years ago, did you ever consider what this was going to do for the rest of your life?
So back in the day, no, I had no idea what it would do, but now being in the Marine Corps and doing all the things I've gotten to do, it has changed my life, and definitely I'm very grateful for it. I've become stronger, smarter, and a better leader because of it.
Annika, we were talking before, you said, look, I wanted to do something that was bigger than just me. And certainly you've done that, and that servant leadership heart you have to serve our country is really strong. Can I ask, where do you think that came from?
I think it ultimately came from just being in the Marine Corps, but you have to be in charge of people. You have to have leadership at a very early age, and so you learn all of those skills and how to be in charge of people, and it just carries on throughout the rest of your life. Very grateful for it.
Guys, she's a great spokesman for the U.S. Marine Corps, and I want to thank her for the job that she does. Boys, back to you.
Mike, thank you. Get everybody set here. Chiappetta, middle of the field, and it's deflected, incomplete. Looking for Lincoln Meyer. Broken up by Villarreal, and Gabe Olson out there now as a corner.
Well, with 7 offensive linemen across that line, you've got max protection. They've taken Camarion Williams and Nathan Wade and put them at the tight end positions. Obviously not eligible for a pass, but you now have that many blockers, what you can set up in terms of down blocks, kickouts. But I don't know if they're doing this just to try to run time off clock or.
On the run, Morrell Jackson, a sophomore. His first touch tonight. 17 carries for 115 yards and a pair of touchdowns on the year for Jackson. And again, Oak Creek forced to go to the shirt sleeve tackle. Shirt tail tackle. 3rd and short once again for the Eagles from their own 39. Farr, first down and more. Stood up as he got to the 43-yard line. Logan Bone, his 9th tackle tonight. Keeps the clock rolling here for the Eagles. Coming up following the game, stay tuned for our United States Marine Player of the Game presentation brought to you by the U.S. Marine Corps. Mike will have that. Again, they'll go unbalanced line here. And nothing doing there. It was Zaire Griffin on the carry. Gavin Grawl has played an outstanding game up front for the Knights tonight.
I guess,
this is what, 4th tackle for a loss?
Coaches said, he was just heartbroken not getting to play last week and was really eager to get back in there.
This will be our Milwaukee Admiral hit of the game, brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. Let's take another look. Right there, the hit of the game, brought to you by Milwaukee Admirals. American Hockey League action set to begin in a week or two. Gavin Grawl. Missed last week, making up for it big time tonight. That's his 4th tackle for a loss tonight. 2nd and 18. Chiappetta wants to put it up. Over the middle, and it is incomplete. Great job just to get a hand on it by Angelus. Isaiah Angelus, but could not keep the ball from hitting the turf. Was looking for
almost
Tolan
a one-handed
Johnson.
catch.
Yep, watch. And he tried to bring it in, and the ball came out right there. Great job by our camera crew again tonight.
All season long, they've been doing a fantastic job.
So 3rd and 18 from their own 35. Tolan Johnson lined up here to the right side. He'll go in motion. Little jet sweep action coming around the side, but Oak Creek not fooled. Windorski, I believe, Adam Windorski, the inside linebacker, read it well right from the beginning.
Well, Coach Lutnick has to be pleased with some of the things he's seen from his defense tonight. Obviously, there have been a couple coverages that got busted, but overall, they've been placed in a rather awkward position part of the night.
Cincio will come in to kick here. Be just a roller that'll be picked up on the bounce. That was on the return. That was Gable Olson. Or check that, Doug Hamilton on the return. Zaire Griffin on the tackle. A little over 8 minutes to go, and as it stands now, Case is going to get to that playoff eligibility with their 4th conference win if they can play it out here for the final 8 minutes. And I think that, to me, that is spectacular work by Anton Graham and his staff. I mean, this program has been down, and I mean lower than down. They went through a period in the early 2000s, losing, 45, 48 games in a row. They went 4 seasons without a win.
And this is his 3rd year as head coach.
Correct.
And what he's put together is something that they should be able to celebrate.
Not sure what we got going on here, but the officials are huddled up at midfield. Anton Graham in the middle of your picture there with the chart attached to his hip. Great motivator. Brings that college mentality along with the Racine Raider professional point of view. He's built this staff. We mentioned, I think 3 or 4 of their coaches involved with the track program alone.
Right. And, you look at their roster, the number of coaches they have, and a lot of these guys, certainly aren't getting paid fantastic sums of money. They're just, teammates at the Raiders, people that have been with previous staffs. Coach Gallagher is one of the people that's in the building, besides being the track coach. I think he teaches social studies. So they've really made the program come alive. There's a spirit.
Try and run it up the right side. Bates again with the carry. We have not seen, as we'll head downstairs to Mike. Mike, what do you have?
So, guys, the principal at Oak Creek, Candace Mogden, we're trying to figure out, I think I've interviewed her over the years about 8 times, and I'm a huge fan of hers. Homecoming week, how's that gone for you guys?
It's awesome. The kids have had so much school spirit, all different kinds of themes and participation and powder puff and football game and all kinds of fun. It's been great.
Hey, it's when we talked a couple weeks ago, you said, look, so far so good. The kids have really responded. And every part of the school and how active they are, not only in sports but in clubs and things like that. You got to be so proud of these kids.
It's awesome. I mean, honestly, these kids all the way, freshmen through seniors. Seniors have done a great job of being role models, and our freshmen are just falling right in line. It's been a really good start to the year.
Hey, guys, I'm a big fan of Candace Mogden. I think she does as good a job as any principal in this area. And when she talks about these kids, her face lights up. She's so proud of them. Boy, back to you.
Mike, thank you so much. jumping the neutral zone, Case defense.
Well, I know our defensive spotter is a Oak Creek High School graduate, and would have been tremendous had we been able to get a hold of his principal and had Mike McGivern interview that principal tonight. I'm not quite sure what we would have discovered, but we were expecting that he would have been let in here by the band, that outstanding band that Oak Creek has.
That old area over there on Racine in Pennsylvania. They have a mark. They have like a statue, a little
it's an
plaque over there.
Historical site now.
Another Bates run. Submarine right at the line of scrimmage. May have gotten a yard out of it. I know I'm aging myself when I bring this up, and I brought this up to you earlier, but I'm old enough to remember that the Case program back in the days of the old South Shore Conference, when it was just the 5 teams from Racine and Kenosha. And Gene Veit had those great wishbone attack, and they were always a tough out, and developed, had that tradition at Case where they were just a tough team and ran that wishbone into the ground, and they were so good at it. Pressure coming again, and Firkus is going to go down at midfield. Thomas Lackey again. That's his second sack tonight.
Something we mentioned this evening, Case lost a tremendous veteran teacher and coach from many years ago. Bill Greighton was an outstanding track and cross-country coach who passed away recently. He was living up north, commuting 30 miles from where he was living to help coach Gillette High School's track and cross-country team. And he had some outstanding cross-country and track teams at Racine Case.
And they've redone Hammes Field now. With
Beautiful.
That beautiful facility now. That was one of the last ones to finish up with the addition of Pritchard Park and the refurbishment of Horlick Field.
10-lane straightaway track, beautiful, beautiful facility. And Coach Graham was mentioning how excited the kids are with, what they have now available to them.
Brings up 4th down here for Oak Creek. Under 5 minutes to go here in this ball game. Nice Lou into punt. Far deep to receive. Nice end over end kick, returnable by Farr at the 5. Gets across the 10, wrestled down at the 14. 9-yard return by Farr. We will take our break. 4.5 minutes remaining here at Oak Creek. It's been all Racine Case. This is the Gruber Law Office's Friday Night Rivals presented by Milwaukee Window Guys. The chase for championships and birthday cake has begun as the NASCAR Xfinity Series starts its engines on its new home, the CW. Hit the track as the adrenaline-fueled playoffs feel the need for speed during CW Sports Saturdays on CW 18. New quarterback in there now. Looks like Just in for that one play was Jordan Matkus Jr.
I think that was Gavin Grawl that broke free once again.
Neenah takes down Kimberly tonight by 1, 29-28. We mentioned McWanago beat Oconomowoc tonight. That whole Classic 8 turned upside down now. Horlick was beating Indian Trail, so that will be a pair of one-loss teams, Case and Horlick next week, battling for that second spot.
We saw Horlick last year. I believe Carson Fletcher had an unbelievable year for them.
Timeout taken here. 3:40 remaining. Don't forget, following our game, we'll have the presentation of the Champions Trophy brought to you by Marquette University. Be the difference. Franklin on top of the Southeast going into play tonight at 4-0. Then you had Oak Creek, Case, and Horlick all at 3-1. Bradford at 2-2. Indian Trail at 1-3. And Park and Tremper 0-4. Franklin was playing Tremper tonight. As we mentioned, Horlick was on top of ITA in the fourth quarter. Nothing to report on that Park-Bradford ball game. So that sets up a big battle in Racine next week. Case and Horlick.
As we mentioned early on, now you're trying to get yourself set for the playoff. What seed are we going to get?
Running back late getting onto the field, that was Morrell Jackson. They'll break him out of the backfield. They'll put 5 receivers out here now. They'll throw it to Farr. Farr spins his way, stays in bounds at the 14-yard line. Logan Bone with the tackle. 8th tackle tonight by Bone. Good job by Farr. He got to the boundary and was able to stay in bounds. Keep that clock rolling.
Now this will be one of those games where the coaching staff at Oak Creek is going to have to look at what took place, be able to kind of address a couple issues that emerged. Undoubtedly their offensive line got thrown off, losing, your team captain, Kevin Wojciechowski, the anchor for both your offensive and defensive line. Kids have to be able to pick up and move forward.
Delay a game penalty here on Case. They were shuttling. No, Case will take the timeout here. Back judge had the flag out of the pocket but didn't throw it. Timeout taken here by the Eagles. They are out of timeouts. There's Wojciechowski. Probably the biggest loss right there, because you said two-way player. He sets the tone. He's a captain. He's the leader.
Well, it told you something how he's regarded by the coaching staff, that they still wanted us to feature him as one of the offensive players to watch, despite the fact he wouldn't be playing. I believe he's committed, I think, to Eastern Michigan, and they're going to honor his scholarship. He's still waiting to see when he's going to have surgery. But he was very optimistic and upbeat when we talked to him this week at practice. Very fine young man.
As were the coaches. They said that, the guys look up to him, but they know it's, in this business, it's next man up.
Right. Yeah, you can't, waste any time or energy feeling sorry for yourself. And Coach Parr made it perfectly clear. No, we're not going to offer any excuses. So I think, they're going to be disappointed. But as Leroy Butler mentioned, okay, what are you going to do next? How do you respond?
Chipetta lost the football. It's dancing around, and it's picked up by Oak Creek. Simply fell out of his hand. And that's Brady Julie on the recovery. That's his 3rd forced fumble. And he'll cover it up. Chance for Oak Creek to take that 0 off the board here late.
And they've had difficulty tonight taking advantage of the turnovers that they've had.
Yeah, if you were with us in the third quarter, they had 2 possessions inside the Case 50 in their territory, and they had 3 short field opportunities and could not cash them in. New signal caller in there now, Brady Martin. He'll take over at quarterback here. Bad snap once again, and the running back will have to fall on it. That has been a problem. Notchel, the tight end, now in as a running back, able to cover that up. It's kind of like the yips in putting. When you're center and you start snapping the ball different ways, it just keeps happening. And then you start thinking about it, and it compounds it. Notchel, big hole up the middle, down to the 5. It's Carson Seabrooks, I should say, with the carry. Seabrooks, the 5'10 freshman.
Showed a little burst there as he cut through.
Speaking of freshmen, we were told J.J. Chapman going to be a fine quarterback. He's injured, but Joel Parr really high on this kid. Another problem on the snap. Ball on the ground, still loose. Oak Creek will recover, bringing up 4th down.
You know, sometimes as a coach, you got to decide, all right, how much time do we spend watching this game film? Or we just say, you remember what we did? Okay, we're not going to do that again. Let's build, get ready.
You know, I remember Tim Rux did that at Carthage, brought the game film in, and he says, guys, remember this? He slammed it into the garbage can and said, we forgot about it. Toss to the end zone, going to be picked off. Intercepted in the end zone. Jalen Garrett with the pick. And that will put the exclamation point on this victory tonight for Case.
Second interception on the season for Garrett.
They're going to pitch their second shutout of the season. They shut out Tremper earlier this year. And there'll be a packed stadium at Hammes Field next Friday, as the Horlick Rebels will be there to take on the Eagles. A pair of one-loss teams in the conference. So the Eagles hit the road and roll over Oak Creek tonight. They are playoff eligible for the 2nd consecutive year. Made it into level 2 last year. What a night tonight. Farr with a pair of touchdowns. Chiappetta with a 3-touchdown night performance. And Case pitches the shutout here tonight. Handshake line starting at midfield. When we return, we will have our player of the game presented by the United States Marine Corps. We'll also have our presentation of the Champions Trophy brought to you by Marquette University. Your final here tonight in Oak Creek. Case 27, Oak Creek nothing. This is the Gruber Law Office's Friday Night Rivals presented by Milwaukee Window Guys. Final from Oak Creek tonight. Case throwing their second shutout of the season as they take down Oak Creek by a score of 27-0. They get to 6-1 on the year, 4-1 in the conference. A fine performance tonight by our player of the game. He's the leader of that offense, Leo Chiappetta, and he's with Mike McGivern.
So, guys, our U.S. Marine player of the game, quarterback Leo Chiappetta, he is a senior, feeling really good about the way this team played tonight. Look, 3 touchdowns. I thought the offensive line did really well, and you were telling me, boy, they played well all year.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, they played their tails off. The whole team did. I mean, defense pitched a shutout. They did a great job. Skills players, man, all you got to do is get the ball in space, and they can go make a play. Yeah, coaching staff, great job calling it up.
And you know what? You throw a really nice ball. Those receivers, I'll tell you what, anything close and they're catching that thing.
Yes, sir.
There's no chance I could guard any of those guys. I don't know, maybe. Hey, our U.S. Marine player of the game, and before we even went on the air, man, he was like, look, you don't have to talk about me, but let me tell you about my line. Let me tell you about my receivers. Let me tell you about a running back who just keeps going. You got to love that kind of stuff.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely. And, like, you know, it really showed today, especially in that scoreboard. 0 and all that. Hey, that's a really good win, especially with this young man. Everybody here leading the team. Hey, you guys push. You guys got the win.
Hey, I love that he said about your defense. Boy, they put you guys in great position today.
Yeah, every single time. I mean, you know, if you need a stop, if you need a big play, you know, you look to those guys. They played their tails off all year, and they're going to continue to do so. And you know, we're going to rally behind them.
Leo, congratulations, our U.S. Marine player of the game. Boys, back to you.
Mike, thank you very much. Leo Chiappetta, the senior, 11 for 19, 210 yards, and watch a couple of these tosses.
You saw his buddy standing right behind him, Mr. Farr, making an excellent catch there.
And that has to help as a quarterback, knowing, like you said, put it anywhere in the area code, they're going to come up with it.
There he goes again.
I thought this next one, though, was his most spectacular toss here.
Yeah,
Talk about dropping a dime.
Right to the corner.
This one right here.
Right here, right to the corner of the end zone.
Right over the top. 3 touchdown passes tonight for Mr. Chiappetta. He is our Marine Corps, United States Marine Corps player of the game, and you can see why. Case is going to be a tough out the rest of the way through. Eagles with the win here tonight. Leo Chiappetta, congratulations. Player of the game. Now we're ready for the Champions Trophy presentation. Once again, brought to you by Marquette University. Here's Mike.
Coach, you've had quite the week. Man, it's been quite the week. You told me before the game, you said, look, I don't know if it's the birth of Anton Jr., but I feel really good about tonight's game. Man, you're right, Coach. These boys can play.
Yeah, you know what? Credit to these teams, credit to these coaches. We had a heck of a week, and like I said, they had to pick me up a little bit. You know, I wasn't able to be here as much as I would have liked to have the staff do what they did, to have the boys do what they did. This is truly a team win, and I couldn't be more thankful for being in this situation.
Hey, the kid to my right holding the trophy, he's got a smile that lights up the room, but, man, he will hit you.
You know what? We say it all the time, man. Two's going to come downhill. He's going to make some plays for us. He's a heck of a senior leader. I couldn't be more proud of that kid.
Hey, I didn't have to drag him to get him in camera. Man, he was all over about this. Hey, hold on. Hey, so next week, Racine Horlick is on the schedule. How you feeling about that one? Let's not give them anything for the locker room, please.
They got something coming, man. That's all I'm going to say. They got something coming.
They got a lot of respect for you guys.
Best defense in the state. They got something coming, man.
Hey, I'm telling you, the kid's got a smile that lights up the room. You want him to like date your daughter, and then he hits you out there. Isn't that right? Do you have a date for homecoming? I need to help you with that.
No, our homecoming was last week, and I won homecoming king. So
you did. Oh man, look at that. He is all set. Hey, Coach, good luck next week against Horlick. I know you have a ton of respect, Coach Fletcher, in that program.
Absolutely. Listen, they're going to do some good things. I know they're going to bring everything they have. We're going to bring everything we have. It's going to be a game to watch, that's for sure.
It'll be a great game. Boys, continue. Good luck the rest of the way. Let me get out. Go.
For the second consecutive year, the Case Eagle football program is playoff eligible. They knock off Oak Creek tonight by a final of 27-0. Stay tuned. We'll have our Protect, Defend, Save play of the game and a final word here from Oak Creek High School when we return right after this on My 24. 27-0. Case gets the win here tonight, becomes playoff eligible with their 4th conference win. They're now 6-1 overall, heading into a showdown with Horlick. Let's take a look now at our tonight's Protect, Defend, Save play of the game. That's brought to you by the United States Coast Guard. And it was a special teams play tonight.
Well, this is the epitome of a self-inflicted wound. Your own man blocks the kick.
Zaire Griffin,
scoop,
the senior, with
scores.
the scoop and score. One more look. Oh man, off the shoulder. And Griffin did not give up on it, able to pick it up and take it into the end zone. Our Protect, Defend, Save play of the game brought to you by the United States Coast Guard. Again, we want to thank all of our sponsors who bring Friday Night Rivals to you each week. That would be the Gruber Law Offices, Milwaukee Window Guys, Best Electric Service, Bryant and Stratton College, Carthage College, Liuna Local 113, Marquette University, Menards, Milwaukee Admirals, Milwaukee Building and Construction Trades Council, Russ Darrow Automotive Group, Steamfitters Local 601, the United States Army, United States Coast Guard, U.S. Marines, and Wendy's. Don't forget, tonight's game will replay on My 24 tomorrow evening at 6. And then tune in next Friday night at 7. It's a Greater Metro Conference clash. Sussex-Hamilton, Marquette University. Those two teams square off next week at Hart Park in Wauwatosa. We'll have it for you beginning with our pregame with Mike McGivern at 6:30 next Friday. Kickoff just after 7 next Friday night. Big one in the Greater Metro. Marquette picking up the win tonight. Hamilton pulled away and won their game, so it's a showdown.
Yeah, both teams undefeated in the conference.
It'll be for the Greater Metro Conference title next Friday night. Big thank you to our My 24 sports crew here tonight, the men and women who put this all together, doing another fantastic job. For our spotter, Sean Raffaelli, for Andy Spitzer, our statistician, Mike McGivern down on the field, Terry Kelly up in the booth. I'm John Weiser. Thanks for watching tonight. This has been the Gruber Law Office's Friday Night Rivals presented by Milwaukee Window Guys. Good night, everyone.